It's the 2K.
Hello, basketball fans.
Welcome to this Sunday afternoon edition of the NBA here on 2K Sports. With Greg Anthony and Clark Kellogg, this is Kevin Harlan. We have Doris Burks on the sideline as well. Looking at San Antonio, they took the win in their last game against the Nets.
And the way they attacked the basket in that game was unreal. I mean, after a while, the defenders seemed to just wave the white flag.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, that's what will happen when a team continues to attack the basket and come away with layups. The defense tends to get demoralized and deflated.
All right, let's set the floor courtesy of Gatorade. All fueled up and ready to go. On the court right now for the Spurs, they've got Paul George. Aflalo is out there with Brandon Knight. Then there's Markieff Morris. And it's Horford in at the pivot spot, manning the middle. The three from LeBron, rebounded by the Spurs. First chance of the season for them to go up against this Celtics team.
And last season, they made short work of this club. 2 games, 2 wins.
They may have wished for more games against them. A definite disparity in talent. We'll see if they take advantage again tonight.
And listen, San Antonio is an older team, actually the oldest in the league last season. And because of injuries and days off, they didn't get to feel that preferred starting 5 a lot last year.
Well, it was the Boston Celtics winning their last game against the Raptors.
Yeah, the bench production in that game was terrific. Points from multiple sources.
Yeah, everybody that stepped on the floor played and made a contribution, and that's always a positive thing.
Here's Rose. Paul George making his last shot. Anderson outside. The paint. The kick out to LeBron. Another miss by LeBron. The Spurs have gotten their first 3 shots to go in for him to start off this game. And Horford, here we go. Anderson with the block. He lobs up the alley-oop pass and stolen by Knight. And there's the call on James. That is his first foul of the game. Outside Knight. Here's the 3. Morris passes to Aflalo. Bryant with the rebound. The Celtics have gone 0 of 3 from the field to start the game. Now let's find out what head coach Greg Popovich had to say to Doris Burke. Doris?
There are a lot of big names to deal with in this one, but perhaps none bigger than LeBron James. He told me planning for LeBron is a headache because he can do so much on the floor, saying there isn't a hole in his game. The only real way to slow him down is to get him working against himself. Physically, there is no answer for LeBron.
And thank you, Doris. Had the space there, but it's offline.
They've had a cold start so far. Just 1 of 5 from the floor here early.
Horford, no luck.
Boy, I tell you what, guys, he's an extremely strong finisher. I'm surprised he wasn't able to power that through the defense. Solid work on the back end of that play.
Yeah, finished hard with 2 hands on the stuff.
Yeah, nothing extravagant, guys, but again, no need on that one.
Brandon Knight certainly can pass the orange.
And sometimes it feels like Brandon Knight is the Rodney Dangerfield of the NBA. The poor guy just doesn't get much respect.
Yeah, I agree with you, Kevin. Through the end of last season, he'd already been on 3 teams in 5 years. On one hand, it may be disrespectful, but teams recognize his ability, too.
So San Antonio goes with a fresh 5 on the floor. And we're just over 3.5 minutes into the first quarter. And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here.
And on the topic of Brandon Knight, you have to wonder why he's been traded around so much. I mean, it wasn't due to a slow start because he made the All-NBA rookie first team. He's smart, has a strong work ethic, proved himself to be a clutch shooter in college, the kind of guy you normally wouldn't think about dealing for someone else.
Clock at 6. LeBron kicks to Anderson. Yes, that's LeBron picking up the assist.
You know, they've scored several times already here in the first quarter down low. I like that.
It's like a running game in football. When you can pound the basketball inside, it also allows you to control the team's transition.
A nice shot by Lynn.
You know, talking about Brandon Knight, part of the reason he's been traded so often is because teams are offering great prospects in return. Detroit dealt him for Brandon Jennings, and Milwaukee dealt him for Michael Carter-Williams.
And it's going to be out of bounds. The Spurs will take it.
And really just a lack of awareness on his part. Just no idea he was right near the line.
Smith dishes to Lee. And Kobe Bryant gets the whistle that time. That's foul number 2 for him.
That's his second foul of the first quarter, and they may want to sit him for a while to avoid number 3.
Lynn the pass to Kidd. Uses both hands to slam it down.
And really, these teams don't even look like they belong on the same court today.
I don't think they do, based on what we've seen, a double-digit lead, and we're still in the first. Ouch, that's painful.
Now here's LeBron. He had 13 points in the win against Toronto. Kobe, no good.
And listen, sometimes even the best of us are going to miss the easiest of opportunities.
Out of bounds, Boston takes possession.
I tell you what, that's just a major unforced error right there, guys. My goodness.
Celtics trail by 11. Kicks it to Garnett. Back to Kobe. In the corner, it's James. That's good, and it's Bryant with the assist. James has got his second bucket of the game to go.
You know, his ability is matched only by his energy, guys. I mean, he's usually in the middle of everything for his team.
Lynn kicks to Withy. Garnett with the block. And pushing it up, here's Boston. And the best.
Excellent work.
I think it's always better to go early in transition, to attack when it's there, because oftentimes you can beat the defense down the floor. That's an impressive spin move there, Kevin. I wasn't expecting him to show handles like that.
And that does it for the first quarter. It's the Spurs up by 9. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be... And Jeremy Lin, a player who's come a long way in his time in this league from going in...
I wasn't sure, you know.
Well, in a game filled with some pretty big egos, there are also guys like that who are living the dream in their own very grateful way. Lynn has certainly seen the highs and the lows.
And Kevin, not everyone's a superstar and certain of their future. Sometimes you get to be a superstar for a brief moment in time, but this game has a way of humbling people, even those who started out humble, like Lynn.
Welcome back, everyone. A lopsided first quarter in the books already as we start the second quarter. And guys, what do you think about the offensive approach so far that we've seen for the Spurs?
Well, I'll tell you what, they must have had a good shoot-around because they've been fantastic from long range so far, fellas.
And the other thing, though, is their execution in terms of their ball movement has been flawless. Sets up a lot of easy scoring opportunities.
LeBron James is out there with Trevor Ariza. Then there's Derrick Rose. Then it's McLemore. And it's Millsap in at the 3, the small forward. That's the 5 to begin the second quarter for the Celtics. LeBron James, by many surveys, and no surprise here, GA, the most popular athlete in America.
I mean, the highest paid player in the league. And you know what? He deserves it. This guy has really carried the mantra as the face of our game, as well as anybody. And I tell you what, people now are starting to acknowledge the guy also delivers when it matters.
He kicks it to Ariza. Outside Millsap. Passes it to Rose. James dishes to Rose. LeBron passes to McLemore. Good, and the assist goes to James. LeBron's got 3 assists now in this one.
Timely passing leads to assists, and that's been the recipe for success.
Everybody on the same page, completely in sync. Tremendous communication and awareness.
His ball distribution tonight just as good as it gets.
Yeah, it sure has been. I mean, all you have to do is look at the numbers. There's no lying in those totals.
Now here's McLemore outside. The shot no good. Now San Antonio takes it the other way. Here's George. Hits some rim on the way in, and the bucket's good. And now an 8-point San Antonio lead. Ariza outside. A 3-ball. Aflalo pulls it in. For San Antonio, they've gone 50% from the floor in the second quarter, 3 of 6. Knight in the corner. Again, the Spurs good for 2. Here's Rose. He's coming off a 19-point game against Toronto. No luck. Some solid defense from Knight. Spurs leading by 10. Feeds to Horford. Second shot opportunity, and the layup is good.
And that's a great play on the backboard for him. I mean, it's what we expect. All his second chance points do not come by accident.
Well, so far for Coach Brad Stevens, the Celtics have had nothing but praise for their outstanding young coach. No surprise for those of us who know Brad. The team is really moving ahead in the rebuilding process, and he gets a lot of the credit for that.
Right side Millsap. Ariza with it, and it's Horford picking him up. Ariza kicks to Rose. Gets it to go from beyond the arc. Rose has got 5.
And no matter who it is, that kind of D isn't going to get it done.
And part of the reason why the Celtics are ahead of schedule in their rebuild is because of Coach Brad Stevens. He has everyone on the same page.
You know what? You talk around the league about Coach Stevens, and other coaches are just astounded by his work ethic. People around the league think he's already a top coach and could be one of the greats by the time he's done if he stays at the professional level.
And let's get this update now from Doris Burke, who's across the way on the sideline.
Guys, thank you. I got a chance to hear what Greg Popovich was saying to his team. He urged them to do everything possible to create open looks for each other. Talked about setting picks, running more set plays, anything to shake free of that defense. He said also that their offense needs to be a patient one. He told them, don't rush things. Use as much of that shot clock as you need to. Well, Coach not wasting any time in tweaking the game plan. We'll see if it makes a difference as we approach halftime, Kevin.
And as always, Doris, thank you.
A slight advantage for them in the rebound department, but that oftentimes is all it takes.
Especially, Greg, when you're scoring the ball at a decent clip the way they have. I mean, they've done exactly what's necessary to take the lead.
Well, I'm sure the name that has been given to DeMarre Carroll, the junkyard dog, I think it's apropos. Kid drafted out of Missouri back in the 2009 draft.
Yeah, and he actually had to show perseverance to hang around as he bounced around a bit. I think he's found a home now. Now that's finishing your work right there.
Powerful two-hand jam, you're right.
And I tell you what, if he's got a few more of those in him, this lead will start shrinking even further. Not sure if they're aware of the 2-for-1 opportunity.
Well, they ought to be. I mean, that's basic basketball time management. You've got to be aware of your clock and your situation.
Shots good by McLemore.
Boy, they've gone on this run, and ball movement has been a big key.
It really has, Clark. The defense unable to react as quickly as necessary in terms of dealing with their passing. Yeah, not sure what that was about. I mean, talk about a brain cramp.
Yeah, yeah, completely a brain fade. I don't know where that came from. Just lost sense of time and the situation. Another trip to the stripe for him, and I tell you what, a little bit of a different feel here in the second quarter. A little more banging going on.
Man, and it's really served them well. Seeking out the contact you mentioned and putting pressure on the defense.
So the Celtics called timeout. They're first.
And you can tell they're just a little out of sync. I think he just wants to get everybody back on the same page.
Yeah, I like this timeout, Greg. I think it's a good one because it looks like they need a minute to talk things through here.
Boston making a switch here. Green's checked in. Rebounded by the Spurs. They've led by as many as 14 points. Next up for them, the Knicks, a road game in New York. The matchup falls in the middle game of this 3-game trip. The clock runs out. And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hello again, everybody. I'm Ernie Johnson, joined by Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith, and it's the NBA Halftime Show on 2K Sports. It's San Antonio out on top at halftime. They have a solid 8-point lead. Your opinion, Shaq?
Well, who would have thought they'd be leading at halftime? I didn't. They were big underdogs coming in. They played up to the level of their competition.
And that'll wrap up our halftime show. The third quarter set to go.
The second half just about to get going here.
Check out the game for McLemore. He's got 8 points, and he's knocked down a pair of three-pointers in this game, too.
And maybe it's time for them to set a few more screens for him up top and let him add to that total.
Here's who Greg Popovich is starting in the second half. Brandon Knight is out there with a follow. Then there's Markieff Morris. Then it's Paul George, and it's Horford in at the center. The Boston Celtics figured to be near the bottom of the league last year. In many ways, they outperformed a lot of people's expectations.
And by no means were they a contender at any point, but they very well could be a... of themselves in terms of the rebuilding process.
Green dishes to LeBron. Right wing. Ball's knocked loose. And here's Rose outside. Yes, and it's LeBron picking up the assist. And it's 8 points for Rose.
And really, how about the quick release on that triple there, because he's given up a lot of height in that matchup.
Right on target you are, Greg. I mean, the quick release is what made the difference there. Any hesitation, and that shot is being blocked.
And with the Celtics being a surprise threat near the end of last season, even their losses were close games.
To back up your point about the Celtics being in close games, I mean, their point differential on the year was less than where you would expect it to be for a team that made the playoffs. I mean, it really gives you an idea of how many close games they played.
And the ball travels out of bounds. It was last touched by Rose.
Oh, we've got a moment to look back to last year's Spurs right now. Third in shooting percentage, third in opponent points per game, and they showed up in the top 5 in free throw shooting. This is a team that took advantage of getting to the line.
And as you said, there weren't many teams that scored with the efficiency that they did last season. They did a great job of being selective and working for the best possible shot.
Now here's McLemore outside. No good. And San Antonio will go the other way with it. Afflalo with it. And Rose picks him up defensively. Horford the pass to Afflalo. Horford kicks to George. Hands it from downtown. George has got 10 points in the game.
You know, maybe he's not one of the elite sharpshooters, but even still, that's not a shot that D can afford to give him.
In the corner, it's McLemore. Lets it go with a three. It's hauled in by George. What a season for Al Horford last year. Such a great display from him and his team as he led the Hawks to the #1 seed in the Eastern Conference.
And for all the team accomplishments the Hawks had, Horford was able to hit some of his own milestones as well. Had his first career triple-double last season.
LeBron sets the screen for Green. Jumper off the screen. Boston again missing. Spurs leading by 11. Pass to Afflalo. Takes a three. Kept alive. Outside for George. Three-pointer. And Afflalo. Bucket on the assist by George. Afflalo's got 5 now.
There's PG creating for a teammate. Terrific dime drop.
And the bucket counts, and he's on his way to the free throw line. Try to make it a three-point play. That's going to send LeBron James to the line. That one on Horford.
There are certain things, guys, that you can always count on in life. death, taxes, and, of course, the Spurs winning 50 games in the regular season. Happened for the 16th straight season last year.
Well, keeping in mind the Spurs have won 50 games or more for many years in a row, Greg, there are teams out there who can drive cars who have not even seen the Spurs not win 50 games, at least in a year.
And the way the Spurs keep on building this team, it's not as if that streak's going to end anytime soon. Those kids might have a chance to vote and do much more before they fail to see the Spurs win 50 games.
Kevin Garnett, he's checked in for Boston. Here's Lee, and he banks in the layup. Lee's got his first bucket in this one.
That's really told the story today, guys. I mean, throughout this game, they've been able to get the ball in tight and then finish.
More active and more physical down low. That's what's really been the difference thus far.
Rose dishes to LeBron. The shot will not go.
And they've got a big lead, not just on the scoreboard, but really in the rebounding numbers as well.
And what I like about it, Greg, it's been a physical brand of basketball. It's had a little gritty and rough, but that's how you win games.
Well, go ahead and just hammer it home, why don't you?
He might not be the athlete that some of the other big men are in this league, but my goodness, he still knows how to finish.
Well, he doesn't count on elevation or hang time, that's for sure, but he can still get it in the basket.
To the left wing, McLemore inside the line, and the shot is long.
And you know what? He's just not on his game, no doubt about it. Their deficit isn't totally on him, but he has not been an asset for his team.
And Carroll gets it to go.
And that's really using the double team against the defense there and creating that pinpoint passing to attack.
LeBron kicks to Garnett. Rose gets a wide open look. Off target with his three. Here are the Spurs with the ball. They're on a 14-5 run here. Pass to Smith. That's tipped. From deep. Goes back up. So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there. The Spurs have made all of their free throws so far tonight, going 6 for 6.
And at the line last season, about 78% as a team. Pretty solid numbers.
And you know, a lot of times, guys, in some of their performances last year, their free throw numbers helped them win games.
Al Horford's checked in for San Antonio. 16 seconds left to play in the third. Rose against Land. He'll take his third and fourth free throw shots of the game right here.
And 79% from the line a season ago. Pretty consistent there as a free throw shooter.
And that one goes in. 2 from the line that time. 6 seconds left in the third quarter. Rose got it off in time, but it's no.